Welcome to A Guide to Halloween. Hi, welcome to A Guide to Halloween. So today we're going to talk about the history of Halloween and some traditions for Halloween. And later we'll look at some common Halloween vocabulary. So let's get started. Now, firstly, let's look at the history of Halloween. Like many other days, Halloween has changed throughout history. Over 2,000 years ago, the Celts were a group of people who lived in Ireland, the UK, and parts of northern. November the 1st was their New Year's Day, and they believed that the night before, October the 31st, was the night when the dead and the living came together, and they called this night Samhain. Now, we move on, and 1,000 years ago, the Christian Church named first All Hallows Day. And this was a special day when they honoured saints of their religion. So we have All Hallows Day on November the 1st, and the night before was called Hallows Eve. Now, same as the Celts, the Europeans believed that the dead and the living would be together on this night. So on that night, they dressed up in costumes that looked like ghosts or other evil creatures. And they thought that if they dressed like that, the dead would also think they were dead and would not hurt them. Over time, Hallows Eve became known as Halloween. Hallows Eve, Halloween. So, let's look at some Halloween traditions. Firstly, we have the Jack-o'-lantern. Now, this is a tradition that has changed. In Europe, people carried lanterns made from turnips. But in America, they don't have many turnips, but pumpkins were very common. So people began putting candles inside pumpkins and using them as lanterns. And we call them Jack-o'-lanterns. Pumpkins are a special kind of food that we eat at that time of year as well. So you'll often find people eating pumpkin soup or pumpkin curry at this time of year. Another tradition, which I'm sure you know, is dressing up. So in the past, people dressed up so that the ghosts and evil spirits that visited would think that they were also the same. Now, kids, people at parties dress up in costumes of witches and vampires and ghosts and skeletons and zombies and monsters. Another tradition is called trick or treat. Now, this is where children dress up and visit houses in their neighborhood, and they ask for a trick or treat. If the neighbor chooses treat, they have to give the child maybe some candy or a little money. But if there's no treat, the children can play a trick on the neighbor. For example, they might throw soap at the window. A lot of people think the trick is not nice, so there is usually always a treat. Another game, another tradition that's mostly played in the UK is bobbing for apples. So what happens is a lot of apples are put through a large bucket or bowl of water, and the competitors have to put their hands behind their back and then use their mouth to get the apples out of the water. Also, usually they have to close their eyes or wear a blindfold. And when you play this game, it's a lot of fun, but you can get very, very wet.